Aditya Birla Sun Life Transportation and Logistics Fund. Will this fund is going to add more returns to your portfolio, or is it going to add more risk to your portfolio? Let us analyze in detail. NFO of this fund is open till 10th November 2023. This is an equity fund, sector specific equity fund focusing on transportation and logistics sector. The benchmark of this fund is Nifty Transportation and Logistics Total Return Index. Minimum investment in this fund is just 500 rupees. The fund manager is Mr. Dawal Gala. There is an exit load applicability if you are withdrawing before 1 year, that is 1%. The investment objective of this fund is to generate long-term wealth by investing in equity and equity-related instruments of transportation and logistics sector. To whom this fund is actually suitable for? There are two conditions to it. One, as an investor, you should be an aggressive investor. You should not be a very conservative or first-time investor who is willing to take higher risk. Second condition is based on your logics, reasoning, analysis, and research. You should be bullish on transportation and logistics sector. If you satisfy both these conditions, then you can consider this fund as one of the investment options. Otherwise, you can stay away. As we have understood the basic details of this particular fund, now is the time to start doing our evaluation, review, analysis of this fund. Aditya Birla Sun Life Transportation and Logistics Fund NFO. In this fund, the fund manager will be able to do a minimum diversification in the top performing companies of transportation and logistics sector. As an investor in your portfolio, if you feel transportation and logistics sector allocation is low and you want to increase, then this can be one of the options for you. If the transportation and logistics sector performs very well and delivers very good return, then obviously this will boost your overall return and increase the portfolio return as well. Because this fund is focused on one particular sector, this brings high risk as well as high return. So high return potential is there in this fund. Based on your logics and reasoning, if you feel transportation and logistics sector is bullish, then this can be a very good value add in your portfolio. We have discussed what are all the advantages of investing in this NFO. Now is the time to understand what are all the disadvantages, potential demerits. As an investor, you have to pay more closer attention, deeper attention to disadvantages, because understanding risk is more important than guessing what is going to be the return. Because this NFO is an equity fund, it will be obviously volatile in the short run. Because the sector specific fund, this will add more volatility to your portfolio. So in short term, this is definitely obviously riskier proposition. If you have money which is based, if you have only your short term money, then please avoid investing that in this fund. If you have got long term money, generally for equities we will suggest 5 to 7 years time frame. Because this is a sector specific equity fund, you should have a time frame of 7 to 10 years time frame. This fund is not suitable for your core portfolio. Large cap and flexi cap funds will be more suitable compared to this ABSL Transportation Logistic Fund NFO. Also, not all great sectors translate into stock market returns. There may be a lot of stories about few sectors in particular time frame. Media analysts will talk very high about one particular sector, but those sectors may not translate into wealth at some point in time. So we need to be cognizant of that fact. You may overexpose your portfolio to negative triggers. That is also a possibility. Because this particular fund is focusing only on transportation logistics fund, because this particular NFO is focusing only on transportation logistics sector, you are overexposing yourself to the particular sector. Because of that, if there is any negative triggers to that particular sector, it can negatively impact your portfolio. This fund is having lesser flexibility and dynamism compared to a diversified equity fund. In a diversified equity fund, if the fund manager feels really bullish about transportation logistics sector, he will have higher exposure. After some point in time, if he feels transportation logistics sector is becoming dull and there are few other sectors which are in the limelight, then he can reduce the exposure to transportation logistics and increase the weightage to other sectors where he sees brightness. That flexibility and dynamism is missing in this transportation logistics fund. Even the fund manager feels the transportation logistics sector may not do well for next 10 years, he is forced to invest only in transportation logistics sector. That is the disadvantage in this fund. Because this is a sector specific fund, this will be more volatile compared to a diversified equity fund. So this adds more risk and volatility to your portfolio. All said and done, this fund manager will be able to diversify only within transportation logistics sector. So diversification will be very minimal. All the stocks are concentrated only in this sector. So this adds more concentration risk to your portfolio. If the transportation logistics sector underperforms, then there's a high probability this fund will deliver negative returns which can pull down the overall return of your portfolio. An important thing in a sector specific equity fund is timing, when to enter, when to exit. This timing, ability to time the market should be within your circle of competence. I'll give you a classic example. When I started my business in 99 2000, I know of an investor who was very bullish about information technology. He invested a lot of his money in technology based funds. That point in time there was an euphoria for these kind of funds, IT sector based funds, internet based funds. There was a lot of euphoria. He invested in most of these funds, but we were suggesting him, boss, you have got higher exposure to this particular sector, you have to avoid having these kind of higher exposure. How can you reduce exposure step by step? We were suggesting him, but he was extremely bullish about this particular sector. His calculation went right, market went up, technology stocks were giving him very good returns, very impressive returns, but technology bubble burst and market tanked. He lost all his gains and 30% of his principal also he lost. When I met him for the next review, he told Ramlingam, I entered into information technology at the right time, I bought at the right time, but I didn't sell at the right time. I didn't know when to exit from technology sector. That's what his take is. So ability to time the market is not in his circle of competence. That is when he understood, instead of doing it yourself investor, he can be a do it together investor. Then on he associated with us and accepted our recommendations and built a portfolio. Similarly, you can also do it together with your mutual fund distributor or a financial planner. Get help from them so that your circle of competence can be expanded. You know when to time the particular sector, enter and exit. Based on his advice, you can diversify your portfolio and invest. If you want to be a do it together investor, then feel free to book your initial consultation in the below link given in the description. Share your details and prefer a time for the discussion. We will set up a call with our certified financial planners. Fine. What is the final takeaway in this analysis? ABSL Transportation Logistic Fund NFO, do we have to invest or we can safely avoid? If you are a first time investor and a conservative investor, obviously you should avoid this fund. Also, there are existing transportation and logistics fund with good track record. If you want to invest in transportation logistics fund, you are not a first time investor, you are not a conservative investor, you are an aggressive investor, even then there are tested, proven transportation logistics fund with a good track record. With a portfolio, you can do in-depth analysis, how they have performed, what is the fund management style of the fund manager, is it contrarian philosophy, value philosophy, growth philosophy, momentum philosophy, you will know completely. Based on that, you will be able to take a decision. That is not possible here. You are taking a blind risk here. As an investor, you should be smart enough to take only calculated risk in your investment portfolio. Obviously, this fund is not suitable if you are looking for funds for your core portfolio, and also if you don't know when to enter and exit from transportation logistics sector, you have to avoid. Before investing in these kind of schemes, you have to consult your financial planner. Why? A scheme will have its own investment objective. As an investor, you will have set of financial goals. These two should match. A scheme will have its own risk quotient. As an investor, you will have your own risk-taking appetite and willingness to take risk. Both has to match. As an investor, you may have an existing equity portfolio and a mutual fund portfolio. You are also investing in a new fund. So what is going to be the overlap ratio? That has to be assessed. A professional financial planner will be able to assess that. Fourth is how much allocation you have to give for this particular new scheme in your portfolio. A financial planner will be able to analyze and tell you that. That is why please contact your financial planner. If you need any help, we have given a link in the description. Book a free consultation with us. We will be able to guide you. If you have any other parameters by which we can review this NFO, feel free to explain that in the comment section. We can discuss. I'll again meet you in yet another video. If you have any questions related to this or any other investment options or related to your financial goals, feel free to book a free appointment with our financial planner. The link to the free booking is given in the description below this video. Also, will you be interested to attend insightful investment webinars? Then feel free to register for our upcoming insightful enlightening investment webinar, and it is completely free. The registration link for the upcoming webinar is also given in the description box. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Also share it in your social circle. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel so far, please subscribe now.